Not what you think. It's coffee in there. Lots. Not lots, just about one coffee. So yeah, got my rice here. Rice with the meat and the vegetables. I got broccoli this time. I don't know if you can see it. Got an orange with me. And some rice cakes. I already have them bagged with some salt hidden in there, but it was easier to show you like this by taking one from the refrigerator. It's about 8 a.m. right now, and I'm about to head to work really soon. Those are just a few of the things that I eat in a day, and I meal prep something to eat with me during like lunch break. I like to pick stuff like this because I know it's high in quality, high in protein, balanced in micronutrients, and also I have some carbs with me, and I also have like a piece of fruit. I'll probably have some like snacky poo stuff with me too, but yeah, I'm probably gonna touch upon the meal prepping part for just this like one meal that I usually take with me, or like for some reasons that I do it, what are the like financial implications of it, and what it gives me when I do it. So yeah, I'll probably catch you on lunch to discuss about this because I kind of need to run right now, and I also want to stay with Mother some more. So see you at lunch with the talk. I hope you can hear me, and I hope we can speak about it like with this amount of volume. So, touching upon meal prepping, I've discovered meal prepping when I was in the United States during my master's degree, where my time was quite limited with the amount of work that I was doing every single week, the fact that I wanted to go to the gym, with the studies and everything else. So I had to figure out a way to eat high quality food that was quite affordable. Because I was on a budget, I had to figure out how to do it properly. So what I did was I bought things in bulk, and I prepped like 3 meals every single day that I was having like ready to go whenever I needed them. Financially speaking, it saved me a lot of money. Like I was able to use about $40 to $50 every single week to have high quality food like vegetables, fruits, meat, breads, and everything that I needed to prep quality food like almond milk, cereals, oats, protein powder. Everything that I needed was included in the budget. Besides this like regular talk about this, let's look a bit at the financial implications of meal prepping versus eating out either at lunch or lunch and dinner. So for example, if you'd go and eat out here in Romania, you could probably eat out with like $5 to $8 like a meal, like a lunch. In the United States, about $8 to $10. Okay, that's per day. You work 5 days per week. You multiply that amount by 5. Okay, if you spend $5 per day, you get $25 per week. If you spend $8 per day, you have $40 per week. If you spend $10, you have $50 per week. Okay, you have 4 weeks in 1 month. That means 25 times 4 is 100, 40 times 4 is 150, 50 times 4 is $200. Then you have 12 months in a year. So if you eat 12 months, like 1 year, if you eat lunch out, you end up with $1,200 for the $5, with $1,900 Okay, so the gorilla pod was falling apart because it was staying like right there. Okay, so let's go back. So if you eat with $10, like a lunch of $10, which is Chipotle and just a soft drink, which is gonna run you above $10, you end up with $50 per week, $200 at the end of the month, and $2,400, $2,400 at the end of the year. Okay, so just that's just lunch. So if you only eat lunch one time per day during an entire week, like every single working day, whatever, you got the point. Now, if you add onto that like a dinner, like a $25 dinner, which is not much. Like I don't know, here, yeah, in Romania you can have like a pretty decent dinner with $25, but in the States you probably don't have that an amazing dinner with $25. You probably need to spend more than $25 to have like a proper dinner. So, but let's just put it like there. So for $25, if you multiply that by 5, then you have $125 every single week. In a month, you spend about $500 just on dinners by eating 5 days out, and in a year you spend $6,000. Now if you add that to your lunch, which is $2,400, or like whatever, whichever one you choose, is gonna run you from like $7,200 all the way up to $8,400. Now it depends on you if that cost is justifiable or not, but for me at this point it is not. Like even with the $10 lunch, or like the $8 lunch, it's not justifiable, because the value that I add, or like the amount that it comes in, is not sufficient enough to justify the cost. Or I'd rather spend the time and cook the meals and save the money, rather than spend the money to get the time. It's always like a matter of, is it worth spending that amount to get that amount of time? At this point, I don't add as much value to justify the cost. If I could make that same amount of money, like in that hour, like of working or of doing something, then yeah, it might be worth having that meal, or not like using time to prep the meal. But until that point, in my opinion, like personal opinion, everything like I'm telling you here is just like my views on this. Up until that point, it is not worth it. Like imagine like spending $8,000 a year on eating. It's like, just come on. You might not even have the best food that you want to have, but you would spend the money. So I'd rather use that money to do something else, like traveling, I don't know, maybe even be able to put down a down payment on something, rather than spending it on food. So it always depends on what you want to do, how much value, how much you can produce in the time that it would take you to prep those meals. For many people, they are able to produce that amount. You see a lot of like YouTubers, or like people that make a lot of money per hour, even though they're not paid by the hour. The amount of work that they can put in 1 hour drastically surpasses the amount that they spend on food. That's why it makes sense for them to spend that money to get that time back. For me at this point, since I'm at the beginning of a career and at the beginning of like my journey, it doesn't make any sense to spend that amount of money just to get like 2 to 3 hours back of time, like probably every single week. So yeah, those are just my thoughts. Those are the implications for me at this point. It's strictly a matter of quality. I know I get better quality if I cook my own meals, and financial reasons. Now, I don't say that you shouldn't go like every once in a while to go out, enjoy yourself, and do all this kind of stuff, but doing it on a daily basis, or like 5 days a week while you work, maybe now it can bring you some awareness on the implications, like costs, strictly cost implications for you, if it's worth it. If it's not, it's up to you if it's worth it. For me, it isn't at this point. So yeah, maybe I'll change my approach toward it, but this is the reasoning behind it at this point in time. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to know, what do you think about it? and what's your take on it? So yeah. All right, I got home from work and I thought a little bit about what I was talking to you during my lunch break regarding the fact that I averaged on about $35 for a day of eating like lunch and a decent-ish dinner. So because it will take you around 5 hours, let's say, per week to go to get the groceries, come back, cook the stuff, and like separate it in casseroles, whatever, all the jazz that you have to do with the meal prep will take you about 5 hours. If you divide that by 5, if you'd make in a day more than $35 for that hour that you would spend meal prepping, as a cost benefit analysis, it would make sense to just buy the food and spend that amount of time gathering experience or knowledge in that time, because the return on investment on that amount spent might be greater than the amount that you save and you spend that hour on just prepping the food. That's why I was telling you that it's context based information. It depends on each and every person. If you are like a CEO, you are a manager, you are whatever, someone that makes like $100 an hour, you'd be like, it would make no sense to spend like $35 or like $50, like $60 for that hour of meal prepping when you could just buy that hour and have an extra like $40 or gather the experience that you could have in that hour. Now, if you Netflix and chill for that time, whatever, if it makes sense for you, if it's worth it, just then by all means, just do it. But yeah, that's why it's context-oriented information. It could save you a lot of money, like $8,400 is not like from here and there, and that's just counting like $35 per day on like spending on food. But if you up that amount, of course the annual bill is gonna up itself. So think about this information, think about how it applies to your situation, and how would you like contextualize it based on your data. I apply it to my data, and spending that amount of money doesn't make sense at this point. I don't make $35 an hour to justify spending $35 an hour for that hour, okay? That being said, I'd rather prefer to have much better quality food that I prepare myself and have that amount of money in my pocket and actually spend the hour during like on average every single day to prep the food, or like at the end of the week using more hours to prep that food. So those are just my thoughts around meal prepping and this situation. I hope it will give you some context and perspective. I hope it will shed some light on the situation, how you could use some money, how you could buy some time, how you could like save some money, and overall take the information, apply it to your situation, and get the most of it. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Peace.